was a famous trumpet man from out Chicago way. He had a boogie style that no one else could play. He was the top man at his craft. But then his number came up and he was gone with the draft. He's in the army now, a-blowin' reveille. He's the boogie-woogie bugle boy of Company B. They made him blow a bugle for his Uncle Sam. It really brought him down because he couldn't jam. The captain seemed to understand, because the next day the cap went out and drafted a band. And now the company jumps when he plays reveille. He's the boogie-woogie bugle boy of Company B. A toot, a toot, a toot-a-toot, he blows it eight to the bar. In boogie rhythm, he can't blow a note unless the bass and guitar is playing with him. He makes a company jump when he plays reveille. He's the boogie-woogie bugle boy of Company B. He was a boogie-woogie bugle boy of Company B. And when he plays boogie-woogie bugle, he was busy as a blues bee. And when he plays, he makes the company jump eight to the bar. He's a boogie-woogie bugle boy of Company B. He blows it eight to the bar. He can't blow a note if the bass and guitar isn't with
We want to thank everyone for being here to celebrate Mom's 90th birthday. Yeah. During this time, we want to encourage all of you to spend some time with Wilma today. But we did have one announcement. It's time to replace her hearing aids. So be sure to speak clearly and slowly when you talk to her. Is that okay, Mom? We also have a photographer here today, Jackie, who is not one of my long-lost nieces, but she is here. And if you want your picture taken with Mom or with your family, please let Jackie know at some point during the party. As you will notice, there are index cards and ink pens on each table. Please take a moment to write a memory or a thought about Wilma on a card along with your name and leave it on the table. Your thoughts and memories will be compiled in a book for Wilma to enjoy. And during our open mic time, you will have an opportunity to share your funny memories and meaningful thoughts about Mom. Some of our loved ones who could not be here sent their thoughts by mail. Frank Obregon, a longtime family friend, says, "I remember your family from your husband to your kids, who I met at Fahola Park. I fell in love with your family because of their respect for each other and for others. You reached out to me and made me feel like I was one of your own, and I will never forget you." Her best friend, Helen, who now lives in Missouri, sent this to her. Helen says, "I think often of the good times we shared. Learning to dance." That was before she became Pentecostal. And then Helen asked the question, why did she become the leader? That's a story you'll have to tell. She says, "It was fun anyway. There's nothing as good as the jitterbug." Now, for my grandchildren who are here, that was a dance back in the 30s, I believe. "We sure knew how to do that," Helen said. She has wonderful memories. At this time, we're going to pray over the food, and then we'll ask folks. We'll begin with table 1, right here, to go to the lunch buffet. Then we'll move on back, table 2, table 3, table 4, on to the end. So please enjoy your time together, the people around you. Get to know some of the other people Wilma loves. It's great to have you with us. It's great to see everyone. It's great to be with family and friends. And we're so thankful that Pastor Tom and Riverside would allow us the privilege of using this facility for today. I remember when we first came here and the welcome that this church gave us. And today we're honored and privileged to be able to celebrate with all of you Mom's birthday. God in heaven, we want to thank you for this wonderful opportunity to celebrate a woman of great faith, to celebrate her life, to celebrate her ministry, to celebrate all she means to us. Over these last 90 years, God, may this be a wonderful time for her. May it be a wonderful time for all of us as we share with her and share with one another. We thank you for providing the food. We ask that you would bless it now and bless our fellowship together in the name of Jesus. Amen. God bless you. We'll let this table begin and then we'll go on back.
He's the boogie woogie bugle boy of Company B. He was the boogie woogie bugle boy of Company B. And when he plays boogie woogie bugle, he was busy as a bee. And when he plays, he makes the company jump A to the bar. He's the boogie woogie bugle boy of Company B.
Last time that we had a party here for Grandma, I don't know if it was her 85th or her 80th, but we put candles on the cake and asked why we weren't doing it this year. Maybe this is the reason why. But we sang happy birthday to Grandma and she blew out the... What am I doing? Am I not supposed to say this? Why am I getting in trouble? I can't now. Her teeth blew out on the cake. Happy birthday, Grandma.
Okay, everyone, I hope you've enjoyed the meal so far. It's great to see everyone and enjoy our time together. I've been asked to read a history of Mom's life. As a preacher, I've been warned not to spend more than 5 minutes on each year of the 90 years. Good luck! When I was growing up here in Flint, I believe there was one part of Flint that was even called Little Missouri. Mom is no exception. Wilma Blunt was born on January 25th, 1926, near Dexter, Missouri, to a family of 5 children. Her father was a sharecropper, and her mother took care of the children and the house. Grandma fed chickens, milked cows, patched clothing, and washed clothes using a metal tub, washboard. Did I say that right? Washboard. I'm from Flint. And soap that she had made herself. After Wilma, 6 more children were born to the family over the next 14 years, bringing the family size to 12 children. Wilma's earliest memories are of being harassed by boys in the schoolyard. One day she was sitting on a log before school began, and a boy ran by and kissed her. It made her mad, and she chased him. She didn't catch him, but he never kissed her again. She remembers another boy following her home and intentionally stepping on her heel and causing her shoe to come off. Her older sister Gladys had to beat him up when he wouldn't stop. The Blunt girls were known to be pretty rough girls. Wilma remembers the first time she had soda pop. Her brothers walked to the store, bought a bottle of red soda pop, and divided it between all the kids. At 11, Wilma saw television for the first time when her oldest brother, Bud, brought one home. The family gathered around it to watch Inner Sanctum Mysteries. I've never heard of that, Mom. It was good. When she was 14, Wilma moved to town to stay with her sister, Gladys, and her husband, George. She later moved in with her sister, Opal, and Opal's husband, Bud. She needed to live in town to attend Dexter High School. Her daily walk to and from school took her by the Dexter Pool Hall, which would have great significance later in her life. By 16 years of age, Wilma had met a girl named Helen who became her best friend for life. They liked going to the Edgewood Dance Hall. Should I tell this with the children present? They liked going to the Edgewood Dance Hall where they would dance with soldiers stationed at Malden, Missouri during World War II. Some people thought Wilma and Helen were not very nice girls, but they always behaved themselves with the soldiers. One day when Wilma was going home from school, she walked by the Dexter Pool Hall and saw a fine-looking young man. She and Helen asked a friend about the young man and learned that he was a soldier named Nathan Tanner who was stationed at Fort Hood in Texas. Helen and Wilma graduated from high school and moved to St. Louis to look for work. Wilma worked at an envelope factory and a couple of different restaurants. After a few months, the girls quit their jobs and decided to go back home to Dexter. Wilma had several jobs working at various factories in Dexter, a shirt factory, a pants factory, and a shoe factory. She sold collars on shirts, stamped brand names on shoes, and sold the fly in pants. In 1946, at age 20, Wilma married the young soldier Nathan Tanner in Piggott, Arkansas. She gained a husband and two sons, Carl, Sonny, and Ken. Wilma gave birth to another son in 1947, Dennis. 3 more children were born over the next 4 years, Janice, Gary, and Judy. Nathan had heard that jobs were available in Flint, Michigan. He came to Michigan and found work. After working here for several months, he saved enough money to move his family to Flint. Their first home in Michigan was a small house on Yale Street. Can I interject here the story about the move to Michigan? When Mom and Gary and Judy rode a bus, and Janice and I rode in the front of a pickup truck with my dad and Buette Williams, whose wife Patty eventually was instrumental in getting us to come to this church. But it was during that ride up that it was uneventful for me and Janice. We were just scared of going over the Mississippi Bridge. But I understand Gary had to stick his tongue to the window of the bus, and there it stuck.
I was thirsty. Way to go, Gary.
Around 1956, Wilma and the kids started attending Riverside Tabernacle. Wilma gave her heart to the Lord during a stay in the hospital. She soon started teaching in the 2-year-old Sunday school class with Opal Jones and Edna Wise. Elwood Mormon was the Sunday school superintendent at this time, and Wilma has a great respect for him and appreciation for all that she learned from him. She continued to teach for over 30 years. She helped with Children's Church, was involved in the Women's Missionary Council with many other women from Riverside. Wilma's next child, Terry, was born at St. Joseph Hospital, and the family moved to a house in Burton while Terry was a baby. When the family moved to Burton, their house had 2 bedrooms, 5 children, and 2 bedrooms. The family added bedrooms and remodeled while living in this home. The next 3 children were born while they lived in Burton: Jack, Donna, and Lisa. Through the 1960s and 70s, Wilma did child care in her home, worked at the Paramount Potato Chip Company, cared for elderly people in their homes. She did all these things as she was raising her children. In 1966, Wilma became a grandmother when Kenny Tanner was born. She sent a son to Vietnam and saw him come home as a bona fide hippie. Boy, we're picking on Gary today.
That's right.
In the early 70s, Wilma saw 3 of her children get married, and the number of grandchildren continued to grow. After going through driver's training with 6 of her 8 children, Wilma finally took the plunge and learned to drive at the age of 50. Roads in Flint have not been the same since. In 1980, the family, now with just 4 children living at home, moved to a house on Bennett Drive in Burton. Nathan was diagnosed with cancer in May of 1982 and went to heaven in August of 1982. In the 1980s, Wilma watched her son Dennis and his family go to Europe for mission school and to Africa as missionaries. She started her career as a world traveler with a trip to Hawaii, followed by trips to Switzerland, Germany, Italy, France, and Belgium. In the 1990s, Wilma moved to Swartz Creek. Wilma spent a lot of time with her mother in Missouri during the 90s as failing health confined Grandma Blunt at home at first and finally to a nursing home. In 1995, Wilma's mother, Grandma Blunt, went to heaven, and the number of grandchildren peaked at 17 with the birth of Ryan Zafroff. A couple of years later, great children began arriving when Kenny and Kathy gave birth to Kimberly. The current count of great grandchildren is 22 and counting. The turn of the century passed with all of the YK2 or Y2K nonsense. And New Year's Eve continues to be important to Wilma. She likes to see the old year out and the new year in. Wilma loved getting together with her sisters to celebrate birthdays and to play a card game called golf. The loss of her sisters, Mary Lou and Anna Mae, has taken that pleasure from her. Wilma battled lymphoma twice in the first decade of this century. The second decade brought a battle with breast cancer. Treatments and surgery have taken their toll on her body, but Wilma says she hasn't minded it much. She's enjoyed getting to know the healthcare professionals, and she is grateful for all the good care she has received. She says she has been blessed. Now, I didn't know this. She's been blessed with good doctors, and she calls them her boyfriends.
Oh, we better have a coffee.
I remember Mom told me one time that when the doctor had told her she needed chemo because she had cancer, she says, well, I don't have cancer and I don't need chemo because God's healed me. And they said, well, we need to do chemo. And she says, well, the way she told me, she may not remember this, but I may not have the words exactly right, but she told the doctor, well, you can do what you want to with me, but I don't have cancer. These days, Wilma enjoys time spent with her family and her Tuesdays working at the storehouse, Riverside's food pantry. The Life Challenge men and the folks who come to Tuesday church have a special place in her heart and prayers. And I believe this opportunity has helped keep her young and strong, and she's had that opportunity to work here and minister to those people. She is enjoying today because you all are here, and she appreciates each one of you as part of her family. Her prayer for each of you is that you will know the transforming love of Jesus in an ever-increasing measure. I'm going to ask my wife to come, Vanna, if she'll come, and she's going to help us sing Happy Birthday. She tells me you don't want me to help you sing it. So I will let her have the microphone and I'll stand far away.
I didn't tell him he couldn't sing today. I usually do, but I didn't tell him he couldn't sing today. You know, Gary, in your defense, you didn't have a chance because Dennis is the one up here with the microphone.
Well, he set the example.
Yeah, and I think there's probably a lot of stories about Dennis, so if any of you want to know, I just say talk to all these brothers and sisters, you know. But before we sing, I've only been in this family 14 years, and I'll never forget, Mom, the first time I came to Michigan, and I was going to meet Mom and all the brothers or the sisters and everything. And of course, I was apprehensive. I didn't know what to expect. I knew if they were all like this guy, you know, I wasn't quite sure. But anyway, I remember coming, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think we all met at Terry's house that night. I believe we did the first time I met everyone. And I knew as soon as I walked in, I hadn't been in the room very long, and I knew I was going to be okay. Mom treated me like she treated Judy and Terry and Lisa and Janice and everyone. And my mom's been gone a long time, so I was given a chance at having a second mom. And I knew then, I spent just a few minutes with the girls, and I knew that this was going to be okay. have enjoyed that, and I have been blessed. And one of the things I have been so blessed with is Mom's faith. I had a godly mother, but as I have watched Mom over these last 14 years as she has battled cancer and other things, and I've heard the stories about how she has prayed for Dennis, and I think Dennis would tell you that he would not have been a missionary or been on the mission field. A big part of that is because of Mom's prayers. So I just want to say today, Mom, thank you for accepting me and loving me. And thank you to the rest of the family. And if you're able to do so, I know all of you are here today because Mom has touched your life in some way. A lot of us call her Mom. A lot of them call her Grandma. And a lot of you call her Wilma. But if you're able to stand today, let's stand in honor of Mom. Mom, you don't have to stand. Let's stand in honor of Mom, and I want us to sing Happy Birthday like perhaps we've never ever sung it before. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Mom.
Grandma.
Happy birthday to you. Dennis doesn't think it's happy birthday until we've sung it like we sung it at church. These young kids won't know it, but a lot of you will, so help us. Happy birthday to you, a happy birthday to you. Every day of the year, may you find Jesus near. A happy birthday to you, a happy birthday to you. And the best fun you've ever had.
Now if you want to come and bring your birthday offering, Mom. Oh. Okay, we're going to take just a few moments now while they cut the cake. Is the cake ready? We'll invite everyone to go and have a piece of Mom's birthday cake and some of the other desserts. And we'll come back in just a few moments and give you an opportunity to share some of your stories about Mom. A bit louder.
I'm just going to say something quick because I have to go to the circus to pay $700 for my grandchildren to ride the elephant. So how many of you here keep getting your cake and stuff? Ryan, is that your third piece or your fourth piece? How many of you here have ever thought when you get to heaven you're going to say, Lord, why did this happen? Or why did this happen to me? Anybody here besides me and Pastor Bob ever think that way? So, yeah. So, what the Lord's going to say to me in return is, hey, you got to be Wilma Tanner's pastor longer than any other pastor that's ever had. And that should balance everything off, right? So it has been a delight and an honor to be your pastor and your friend. Your children have been such a blessing in the church. I always say to Wilma, I wish she would have had more kids. So I found out today that 0.05% of the world population gets to see 90 years of age. So Wilma, you have hit the Powerball of life, right? But you hit the real Powerball somewhere about 1956 when you brought Jesus into your heart. All you had to give up was your future on Dancing with the Stars, right? So I just want to say that we love you. And it's a delight to be here to see your children and your grandchildren and great-grandchildren rise up to call you blessed. And make sure that you're here at 8:30 for work Monday morning. Okay? All right, love you.
Thank you.
So I'm up here speaking on behalf of all the cousins as Grandma's favorite. So, just to clarify. So Psalms says, my godly heritage is beautiful to me. And when I think of my grandma, I think of that and all the years of prayer and great wisdom and advice. Probably the best that I'll always remember from my dear, saved and sanctified grandma. Cousins, you know. Be good and have fun. But if you can't be good and have fun, name it after me. That will not be one of the things read when we all get to heaven.
She is really a woman of prayer. Because when Gary came home from Vietnam, I'm about the first person from high school that we're pretty good buddies in school. We became best buddies because under the supervision of his bigger brother, we opened up a hippie community. So I want you to know, it was not our fault. Was it, Gary? It was his fault. He was getting a cut of everything that they do there. And she was thinking that it was my fault that I messed him up. And then it finally came to you that it was Dennis, didn't it? Yeah.
Talking about the wrong John.
You was taught that's right. But she prayed a whole lot of people
Yes.
into salvation. It didn't take very long for hers and many other prayers from people in this church also that were praying for Gary, me, and Dennis, but and many others. But she was one of the warriors. Prayer is something that is eternal. Those words are never forgotten, and they're all penned down in heaven.
Yes.
And so when I get there, I can't wait to read the books of prayer that are going to be there. And she's going to have a lot of pages filled. I thank you for your prayers for me and my family. You know, Cheryl just passed away August 22nd. We were married 41 years. But a lot of our mission work, I knew that you, because I'd see you here and there, you'd always say to Cheryl and I, whenever we met you gathered, I'm praying for you guys, Johnny. And I appreciated that. Thank you for your prayers.
You're welcome.
Come here, bad boy.
Tuesdays, and we sit at the same table, and on the few occasions when she can't be there, everybody comes, where is she? Where is she? Is she okay? And everybody wants to know about Wilma, and if she's not there, everybody's very disappointed. So, and I know she comes some days when she probably maybe would like to stay inside a little bit, but she said, oh, I love coming, and the people love her, and we do too.
My name is Joan Spilker. I kind of came with this church, or my husband was carried in as a baby. Wilma works with us in the storehouse, and she's very dear, as you all know. I like to fool around with poetry once in a while, and I'm no Longfellow or Poe, but hopefully you'll get the message. Wilma Tanner, what a friend. Her faith in God will never end. She trusts our God up above and praises him for his healing love. She always works and lends a hand. She's known throughout the land. Everybody around here knows Wilma. She raised a beautiful family with joy, strength, and peace. You can see it takes a lot, a family to raise. And Wilma, we give you praise. She's kind and has a loving heart, and all because of the Lord's heart. He saved her, healed her, guided her all the way. And one thing on this, her 90th, she would say, thank you, Jesus. Dear Wilma, we value you and your dear family as friends, and we'll always love you.
I have no idea what I'm going to say, but I knew I have to say something. I don't have any stories. You asked me if I had stories. That was the truth. I have no stories. But you know, I've been privileged to be a part of the Storehouse Ministry for 15 years, which is how old it is now. And I've also been very privileged to work with the Tanner family, and especially Wilma. I've always said that Wilma is the matriarch of the Storehouse Ministry. And she's such an inspiration. It keeps me going. I've wanted to take off many times. I can't seem to get Doug or Dwayne or anybody else to step in. And about the time I'm ready to step out, I see Wilma coming in to sign people in a cold environment. It's an inspiration to me, and it is to all the Storehouse people. And here, when I saw when I saw Lisa bring Wilma down on a Tuesday to take time off from signing people in to go have chemo and then back, and you know, what can I say? This lady is the Storehouse. There is the face of the Storehouse right there. And I'd like to give her a standing ovation, because I don't think without her the Storehouse would still be going. Wow. Because I know it's kept me going. So, Wilma, God bless you, and thank you so much, kid.
Thank you, Steve. Anyone else? Any of the children? I've got a few I'm saving. Come on, Michelle.
This is from her favorite grandkid. Jenny, you're out, wherever you are. No, when I first found out about the party, and just when they said to write maybe some thoughts, you know, that come to mind when you think of Grandma. So I wrote something down and I stuck it in a frame, Grandma, so you'll be able to have it. But this is what I wrote. When I think of Grandma Tanner, I think of chocolate gravy. I think of butter. Fried Cheerios. Popcorn in the old black pan that still sits on her stove. Biscuits. Roast potatoes and carrots. A house coat and slippers. An occasional Chinese fire drill. She was such a good sport going around with us. Sunday school at Riverside, singing So Let the Sun Shine In and Face It With a Grin. The yellow cake with the chocolate frosting. Can I get an amen from everyone? Playing solitaire at the table, writing me handwritten letters wherever I was in the world. My nickname, Shelly Mae. Her taking care, now this goes way back, I remember her taking care of these baby birds in a little nest. The clothes washer with the wringer that you had to do that too. Her garden at the old house, and her canning vegetables, etc. in a hot kitchen. Her sitting outside in a lawn chair watching all of us kids. And did I say biscuits? Because she does make the best buttermilk biscuits ever. Most of all, she was there for me. She prayed for me. She's my godly heritage, and I'm forever thankful for you in my life, Grandma. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. It'd be nice to have the grandkids all come up. Michelle and Katie, Jeremy, come up and do the Nana, you was wondering where my grandsons get it from.
Yeah.
Is there anyone else? While we're waiting for the entertainment.
Jenny, this is for Grandma.
One thing about Wilma, I heard a message not long ago, and it was about what Jesus told the apostles to go out and spread the word. And when we look at it, after they spread the word, what's happened throughout the world, that they spread the word. And Wilma, you can look at your family, you spread the word. You did what Jesus said to do. You went out, you spread the word, and you look at every one of your family. Look at your family. They're pastors, they're going to Bible school, they're missionaries. What a wonderful thing. I have one more thing to say. Joyce and I, for our 50th wedding anniversary, I asked the pastor, I said, do you think it'd be all right if we danced at our anniversary party? He said, yeah. He says, I don't see anything wrong with it. So we practiced. Joyce had never danced, and I was raised Baptist, and I had to sneak off in order to go to a dance. So we practiced for our 50th wedding anniversary, and one of the greatest things that happened at our 50th wedding anniversary was Wilma and I dancing. It was great.
While we're waiting on her, and he wrote to you, Mom. He says, it is my great delight to join with your family and friends to celebrate your 90th birthday. You are and always have been a loving and sweet person and a great blessing to all of us, and I'm thankful to have known you for so many years. It has also been a great joy to know your wonderful children and to enjoy the same sweetness and kindness in them that I have enjoyed in you. I know you will enjoy this special day, and it will be a day of enjoyment for all of us who are grateful to share it with you. Blessings, Bob Bronner. Thank you, Bob, for writing that, sharing that with us. Anyone else? Oh, they're still practicing. It'll take them a few minutes. Don't wait for them.
Okay, I'm one of the cousins. And he was an instigator, by the way. And what I remember the most is going to Mama's house, all of us kids in the backyard around the fire and laughing so hard at these guys, because this family here cracks everybody up. So they can't blame it on one, it's all of them. And I remember, and I'll never forget, and I wish Wilma would tell the story for us all, is Smoke a Pipe. And I'm sure everybody remembers that. And I just wanted to say, Wilma, your house was the funnest house that we ever went to as kids. You had kids, lots of kids, Mom had lots of kids, and it was all a happy time. And we love you.
Thank you, Kim.
Let me tell you.
This was probably when either Lisa or Jack was a baby. I don't know which one. But we lived in the house on Springfield Street and had an old oil-burning stove that sat in the dining room. I guess it was. We didn't have much. Dining room, kitchen, living room was all together. But that stove had a switch on the back that turned the fan on and off. And somehow, the switch, the little lever, had gotten broke. So we kept a pair of pliers back there. So when you want to turn the fan on, you use the pliers. I'll never forget one evening, Mom was so upset. She was looking for the baby's bottle. I don't know whose bottle it was, but one of the babies. She needed to find the bottle. She had looked everywhere for it. She looked in the bedroom. She looked in the kitchen. She looked everywhere for it. And it was cool that night. And after her questioning all of us in the way that she would question us, or asking us if we'd done something with the bottle, it must have been cool because eventually she went over and she went to turn the fan on in the stove. And there on the back of the stove sat the baby's bottle. In the refrigerator sat the pliers. So to this day, whenever I lose anything, the first place I look is in the refrigerator. Okay, are you ready?
Yeah. We're Tanner.
No, you're fine. You're good. We're gonna scoot right by. Sophie, you might have to. Can you do that?
I would just like to say this does not go on Facebook.
It's our phone.
Okay, Krista.
All right, quiet.
We're live streaming.
Yep.
If I were not a Tanner kid, the thing that I would be. If I were not a Tanner kid, a farmer I would be. And if I were a farmer and you'd pass me by, you'd hear me cry, "Come on, Bessie, give! Baby's gotta live! Come on, Bessie, give! Baby's gotta live!" If I were not a Tanner kid, the thing that I would be. If I were not a Tanner kid.
A stewardess I would be, and if I were a stewardess and you would pass me by, you would hear me cry, "Here's your coffee, here's your tea, here's your paper bag. Here's your coffee, here's your tea, here's your paper bag."
Come on, Bessie, give! Baby's gotta live! Come on, Bessie, give! Baby's gotta live! If I were not a Tanner kid, the thing that I would be. If I were not a Tanner kid,
a fireman I would be. And if I were a fireman and you would pass me by, you would hear me cry, "Jump, lady, jump! Ah, splat! Jump, lady, jump! Ah, splat! Jump, lady, jump! Ah, splat! Jump, lady, jump! Ah, splat!
come on, Bessie, give! Baby's gotta live! Come on, Bessie, give! Baby's gotta live! If I were not a Tanner kid, the thing that I would be. If I were not a Tanner kid.
A plumber I would be, and if I were a plumber and you were to pass me by, you would hear me cry, "Flush it! Flush it! Down below! Flush it! Flush it! Down below! Flush it! Flush it! Down below! Flush it! Flush it! Flush it! Flush it! Flush it!
Come on, Bessie, give! Baby's gotta live! Come on, Bessie, give! Baby's gotta live! If I were not a Tanner kid, the thing that I would be. If I were not a Tanner kid.
A blonde, and if I were a blonde and you would pass me by, you would hear me cry. I don't know. I don't know.
Flush it! Flush it! Let out down below! Flush it! Flush it! Let out down below!
Jump, lady, jump! Ah, slap! Jump, lady, jump! Ah, slap! Jump, lady, jump! Ah, slap! Jump, lady, jump! Ah, slap!
Come on, Bessie, give! Baby's gotta live! Come on, Bessie, give! Baby's gotta live! If I were not a Tanner kid, the thing that I would be. If I were not a Tanner kid.
A bird watcher I would be, and if I were a bird watcher and you were to pass me by, you would hear me cry, "Hark! Hark! I think I see a lark splat! Hark! I see a lark splat! Hark! Hark! I think I see a lark splat! Hark! Flush it! Flush it! Let out down below! Flush it! Flush it!
I want to hear what comes out of their mouth.
Yeah, that's surprising.
Next generation.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be the Dennis, I do know where the grandkids are.
Just a little reminder.
You are a sport, Jana.
So good. You guys did good.
Well, Mom, that's your legacy right there. What we're going to do is we wrap things up, and before we do, somebody else may have thought of a story. One of the children, sisters, brother.
Gary? Come on, give Gary the microphone.
All right, come on, Gary.
Come on.
Go Gary. Go Gary.
There you go. Get that swagger. Get that swagger.
Hi, Mom. I don't really have any special stories to tell. I've been blessed. I can't do this without Paul. So. I've been blessed to be a part of this family, but I can't say in words how much of a blessing it is to have a mother like this. And Johnny even mentioned it earlier. I wouldn't be here today had it were not been for the prayers of my mom and the Petties and the other people in this church. Many of you know the Petties. And the things that we've been through and the life that we lived. My mom and dad were there. And you have no idea what they put up with Dennis. I got my big kid. You did good. But Mom, you know we all love you, and it truly is a wonderful blessing to have a mother like you, and we do look forward to your 100th. It's going to be wonderful just to see what the Lord does in your life, and as a result of the prayers you have for us. Thank you. We love you, Mom.
Have pictures taken with Mom as individuals or with your family. Somewhere before all of our family leaves, we want to get all of the children and grandchildren, if we could, together someplace and have a picture taken. And I think a couple thanksgivings or thankful words should be said. First of all, to all the members of this church that are here. I remember Patty Williams coming by our house and inviting us to church. And even though there was not a great enthusiasm to come at that time, we were on Yale Street in the north end of Flint. Patty offered to take us kids. And we started going to the children's program, the Sunday school. Esther Heinzelman picked us up. Brother and Sister Lakey would pick us up. Brother and Sister Taylor, Brother Taylor would pick us up. Until one day my father gave his heart to the Lord. And when I look at the parking lot out there today, as I pulled in, I thought, boy, we miss him out here. He was the one to make sure everybody parked within the lines and not on the lines. But to Riverside Tabernacle, we say thank you for loving my mother, our mother, for loving the family, and for giving us an opportunity to celebrate here today this story of her life and our lives through this church and what this church has meant to us. And to my sisters who worked so hard to put this together. And Lisa and Donna and Judy, Terry. We guys aren't around very much. Janice, where's Janice? There, Janice. Us guys weren't around very much, and they put all this together. So thank you, each one of you, for what you've done and for giving us this time to celebrate. So we're going to conclude now. I guess that's the end of the program.
Mom wants to say thank you to everybody. To you. You say thank you for Mom. And then we're going to do some music that Mom likes.
Oh, and is her dance partner still? Are we going to try to get her to dance? Or
She wants to jitterbug. We're dancing.
can you jitterbug with a cane? All right. We're going to have an opportunity to we're actually going to dance
In the church.
in church. We're going to give Mom a chance. If anybody wants to dance with Mom, all right. But on behalf of Mom, let me say thank you and our family. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for all the cards. Thank you for all the great memories, and thank you for honoring our mother. God bless you. Okay, music.
Dennis, for pictures, we kind of set up this lattice work over here as a background so that we have a lot of room for
All right.
how big the group
So
is.
we'll eventually move Mom over there in her rocking chair. And then we'll after the dances we'll have an opportunity to take some photos. God bless you. Go ahead, John, you got it?
Mister, what you call 'em, what you doing tonight? Hope you're in the mood because I'm feeling just right. How's about a corner with a date for two? Where the music's mellow and some gay rendezvous. There's a chance romancing with the blue attitude. You've got to do some dancing to get in the mood. Mister, what you call 'em, it's a timely idea. Something swing-a-dilla would be good to my ear. Everybody must agree that dancing has charm. When you have a certain one you love in your arms, stepping out with you will be a sweet interlude. A builder-upper that will put me in the mood. In the mood. That's it, I got it. In the mood. Your ear will spot it. In the mood. I wanna hide it. Be alive and get the dragon back to learn how. Step, step, step. Step like a heifer. Step, step, step. Hard as a feather. Step, step, step. Step like a stepper. From hugging and hugging. We're in the mood now. Mister, what you call 'em, all you needed was fun. You can see the wonders that this evening has done. Your feet were so heavy till they hardly could move. Now they're light as feathers